mean, it's just very slow. I think right now is the best time to read into, the team. Maybe see, hey, how do they play a little bit? It is a pissed around, but some of the play style of what the opposing team does will come out eventually, but it seems like we did trying to gather some information. They're jumping around on site. Nothing's going to be given, though. It seems like already it's just going to be a very, very slow round.
Very slow round. I do like these default pistols, though. A lot of teams do try to blitz sites, try and get that early aggression off, maybe get an early pick and take things over. But with the stalling power, you want to waste that util as much as you can, try and stagger it as well. Jason Stanley's going to get stuck in that gravity well, and it's going to be taken down by Pony with the Sheriff just through the toxic screen. What a great opening pick. The 5v4 situation. Plant's going to go down.
Spike planted.
Spike is planted. Now this retake has to come through. It has to be pretty strong here, but it seems like Payan's even stronger. Gonna be helped out by Decop with that shock dart coming around and already leaving JMO by their lonesome with the shorty in hand. Might just be able to get one here. It seems like none. Just some damage coming through because the body block that came through from Pony. Already attackers winning this first round. TSM having a strong lead in a map that I believe is supposedly supposed to go to KCP here.
I mean, we did say that it was going to be pretty neck and neck as far as things go. I mean, it is only round one, though. It's really early to say. I'd like to see some alt orb control. And I think that's one thing that bothers me a little bit is I don't know why you wouldn't fight for alt orb control. You might as well get that alt point under your belt, not risk letting an opposing team grab that for themselves. But there's going to be a bit of a crossfire here. Be long, but actually Thief is going to be stuck on that left side, but it's just going to barely get away. It's kind of bunny hopping their way around.
Oh, nice. We got a nice snake bite coming down from Payan. I think Payan's getting that aggressiveness down. You would expect the Jet to be able to do that, but Payan is just not holding, they're just not going to sit around and wait for this aggression to come through. Already it's coming down. The spike is planted, and we have Critical and JMO coming around. Decop's about to get some of that Spectre down, and that was looking pretty rough. Decop, if that had to wait for another second, it might have just gone the other way around, but already leaving one player on KCP. Stanny trying to make their way.
Might be a flawless round coming out. Not a classic and a dream, but maybe to catch Payan off guard here. Is going to get that damage off, get the kill as well. Just going for these exit frags so far. Not able to secure another one, but managed to get the Spectre out of Payan's hands. Going into round 3, KCP is going to be able to forward those rifles coming up. I think a great win condition for TSM, if they're able to win this bonus round as well, it might come down to the fact that if they can farm those alt orbs for Payan, get that Viper's Pit online, and then use the Spectres to their advantage within the pit, the shortened line of sights could give them an advantage over the rifles as far as things go. But first things first, they are going to have to make their way onto site to make it happen. And it's going to be an A default coming out. That Poison Cloud lineup is going to be here. And the Trailblazer's going to get info that 2 are in fact in showers. Pony's just going to dash in with the Spectre, take that concussion, take down another as well. And the 3v3 situation. Advantage still towards KCP considering their guns, but Pony able to grab that Vandal, gets a 4th, might be an ace on this round.
That spike's coming down. Thief is coming around the corner with it. We do have some players surrounding themselves down in U-Haul, but TSM, they are going to take this third round in their pockets. And I mean, coming out onto site and being able to just kind of, blitz onto the site, explode onto the site, if anything, use all that util to try to at least dismember the team and push them back a little bit further. That helped them in their case, especially with these Spectres coming out.
That was also an insane 4K coming out from Pony. The fact that it was the bonus round for them, KCP had that gun advantage, but they did fall to those Spectres, is really, really unfortunate. But ultimately, I'm kind of surprised that the toxic screen went up from Payan, actually. Nobody was really covering Pony during that plant, and I think Pony could have lived there, but I digress. It's going to be an aggressive push out of showers, and Precision is going to get that first pick.
A blind Precision knows exactly where KCP is surrounding themselves down, especially with that information. But that first pick coming out for TSM is pretty huge. Allowing that Astra to kind of go away is going to leave one controller on the side of KCP for that map control.
I like that Precision fell back there instead of using the guiding light to maybe try get another pick off, played their life. They continue to play this player advantage, and that toxic screen is going to come up
Here.
for the A site. Provide a little bit of cover, but they've totally cut noise. And the rotation's actually being pulled from KCP towards the B site, leaving Critical here by themselves.
It seems like it's going to be an explosion onto site as TSM gathers themselves around. And I mean, KCP doesn't have the weaponry to kind of stop this from coming along. So maybe this retake might just come into play. But as it is, D-Cop's trying to get some information onto the site as tons of players come out on the side of TSM, outside of showers, and getting that spike down initiated in order to be able to allow it to kind of go down, tick down for that defusal. But I don't know if the defusal is going to come along here, Ash, as a lot of the players are getting blinded here by Precision.
I do also like the toxic screen in combination with the poison cloud there. It's going to allow TSM to play those lineups, have that extra damage off from the smokes as well. He's just trying to clear out short here, but D-Cop's going to get the drop on them. And it's a 1v3 situation. We did just the Sheriff, likely not going to be able to get this bomb defused as time is ticking.
Oh, and we did is just can't really do anything right there. There was a lot of utility being dropped onto the spike. Not only that, but being used to be able to kind of not let that retake come through from KCP. And I have to say kudos to that, because that utility dump going on to site as, you know, that retake was coming through, not only got some of those players downed on the side of KCP, it did not allow that defusal to come through.
I'm still questioning why JMO was rotated over towards the B site so early on. I mean, you had the information at A. They did cut noise, so I guess they did get in the heads of KCP a little bit. TSM able to kind of make that read and allow that aggressive push to happen, isolating one player on A site. But that recon bolt is going to come out too long. A guiding light as well to get a bit of information for KCP. We're going to see this drone up. No rotations are being called over quite yet. Playing a slow default towards the B site. And Trailblazer's going to grab some additional information.
Welcome to my
Yeah, B site's going to be the site that KSM wants to go towards. Payan's going to drop that Viper's pick down, and having that Viper's pick down is going to be huge. That's going to take a lot of that side control, but Critical is going to be able to take down Payan, and that Viper's pick goes down with it. Under's Fury was actually doing a lot of work there, Ash, I have to say. And right now, JMO's just completely dominating with the operator. It seems like that's all they needed here, an operator to be able to close this out, and some teamwork, if anything. That ulti, that Hunter's Fury, taking out that Viper's pit, that was a deal breaker.
They're just gonna miss each other here. Precision, playing it right, going for the slow walk instead of running through, not giving JMO quite the information they're looking for. He's gonna try and grab an early pick before grabbing the spike. He's trying to wrap around a little bit. They're not gonna manage to take down Critical though. That'll be the first round on the board for KCP. They're looking to put a stop to the momentum that TSM Academy has built up for themselves so far. Like you said, being able to retain that operator in JMO's hands is going to be huge. That was definitely a driving force when it comes to that round, to be able to get that spike control so early on and making it really hard to recover.
I am liking a lot of the aggressive pushes going on to site from TSM, but the situation at hand is that whether or not that's going to continuously work, as that Viper Spit came down, so did the players. And I mean, you can't really have a lot of that control of site if you're not clearing it while that Viper Spit comes down. It's just, at that point, it was a loss, considering the fact that the spray downs were happening and nobody really knew what was going on outside of that pit. But I mean, Tony's just going in and trying to get these picks. Not gonna happen though. It seems like the 100 series is gonna come through with some damage, but already TSM is just completely dominating in this take on to site. This operator is gonna be coming into the hands of Tony, and that's gonna be looking pretty deadly for the side of KCP.
One enemy remaining.
Everybody's just falling at once. It was really hard to even keep track of what was going on there. I mean, TSM, another really clean round under their belt. I like the timing of the Seekers, the pushes in, that Astra utility coming out from ZK as well was massive as far as getting that bathroom's control, being able to push JMO off of that aggressive showers angle, and as they were falling back, concussing them as well, forcing that tailwind out and forcing them to put the Blade Storms online as well. And now it won't be available for this save round, and that was very well done by, TSM Academy. We might see a Viper's Pit coming out, not quite yet. I do like to see them on saves, considering if you're stuck on pistols, you got those shorter sight lines. But Payan's going to get that initial pick off of JMO, but a lot of util, making it still difficult to get onto site.
Payan is an aggressive Viper. And I think it works occasionally, but being punished there, it's not going to help the side of TSM any longer. But they still do have Astra as that second controller at hand to be able to get these sites down. We do have that Cosmic Divide coming down in favor of a site. But it's trying to confuse a little bit, maybe. But it seems like KCP kind of caught on just enough, and they're just going to be heading right on over to B site.
I think that Cosmic Divide's actually really interesting. It's placed so that information is actually negated from KCP. Rather than being able to help them set up for a site, they chose to block the sounds so that KCP had to kind of gamble, okay, are they just going to come and re-hit A? Is it going to be B? But it is in fact going to be B with 25 seconds on the clock. Shock darts coming out, guiding light is going to blind backside as well.
Ooh, and already it's happening. It's a bloodbath coming down, and KCP's trying to gain some control of the site, but they cannot get past. They just can't get past that chokehold, and TSM just holding them back at that point. That spike's gonna go down and help the economy out just a little bit. But TSM, that was a really great confusion, like you said. I mean, using that Cosmic Divide to be able to kind of confuse the opposing side as to what's gonna happen. Are they gonna re-hit this? Is this wall just there for that confusion point of view or whatnot? But I mean, I was questioning, is Pony an operator player coming in for B-Dog? I believe that's their name. And it seems like they are. It seems like they're faring out pretty well.
I also just want to point out, I mean, all of that util usage was very well done. They have these great explosive entries as well when they're committing to site, but I really like that they're switching things up round and around. Again, keeping KCP guessing. Lots of free fires are going to go out here. Aggressive Viper, like you said, just waiting to get the information on Critical, shooting them through the poison cloud, but JC Stanny's going to reply to that kill with one of their own, the 4v4 situation, and Spike is actually postured towards the B site, and a really good fake was done over at A, but Decop's actually inching their way back. Pony alone, operator in hand here, Long looking to get maybe an early pick for their team as they lurk around, but it is going to be a re-hit towards A.
I like the nice anchors onto site regardless of the information coming through for the side of KCP. They kind of just sit around and wait on site for at least some sort of information that they could possibly play off of. If they don't hear any of that really hard take onto site come through, they just kind of wait around and they don't give into that rotation too early. But right here, Tony might just be able to get one, but Thief is watching right around the corner. Although this is good. I mean, Pony kind of distracted the opposing side, and now it seems like JMO's just wavering around here. Never mind, this rotation is coming through pretty quickly already for the side of KCP, and it seems like Precision is currently good for one, possibly good for another. So it is 13 seconds. They have to get this spike down for TSM. And now it's just the waiting game.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, the aggression.
One enemy remaining.
Ooh, yeah. It is. It's going towards TSM. It was looking really close for KCP. I mean, having Pony go onto the other side and keep the players there a little bit longer definitely worked out pretty well.
I was afraid that Decop was maybe overextending themselves a bit in CT there on A site, but seeing that shock dart come out just to disorient Thief a little bit before actually going in for the wide swing, catching them off guard was really huge. Unfortunate that they did lose the operator and JMO is not able to keep that in their hands. Or not JMO, sorry, Pony was not able to keep that in their hands. But ultimately. Gonna go for rifles around this time. No snipers. There's actually a 3-stack towards the B site. KCP gambling a little bit, saying that it's unlikely that they're going to try and hit A again. They're probably going to switch it up and go B.
Ooh. Oh, Pony got some nice information there with the dash, being able to look at the other side and try to gather some of that information so that the team could push through it. Pony's just completely dominating, trying to create some space, and I mean, doing it pretty well here. Of course, Critical is hiding around the corner waiting for some of that rotation to come through, and Payan just knows exactly what's going on, but Payan knows Danny's right around the corner and already getting that second pick off and leaving Critical to be down by himself, down an elbow. It is a flawless coming out from the attackers.
Flawless, but nothing too surprising there, considering that, KCP was at that gun disadvantage. They're on this buy-up now. Operator coming out in the hands of JMO once again. We do have the Viper's Pit online, however, under Weeded's control. Might be able to make something happen there, stave off those pushes on A site, take that A short control with it. We have that Hunter's Fury for that plant situation, whether it's trying to get some info on a retake, slow down that push, get some damage off, or when the plant's going down, pre-aiming at those common spots. Viper's Pit is going to come out, like I mentioned. Looks like Decop's thinking about Owl droning in for that information, but probably questioning whether it will actually be worth it.
Standing ahead.
I think TSM's getting a little more critical here. They're thinking without getting these aggressions in and trying to push onto the site like we've seen previously. They're just kind of sitting around, sitting back, and trying to at least confuse or play this lurk coming through. As we can see already, we do have 2 players on the side of TSM trying to at least get a lurk through, but seems like Pony's going to be taken down. Payan trying to get this Viper's Pit out. Oh, Payan don't get downed. It seems like Payan's not going to get down just yet, though. It is just a bloodbath coming through onto the A site. And right now the Hunters here are trying to do some damage, but it is going to do just enough. Decop's going to be taken down, and having that Sova taken down so that util can't be exposed. It is now just... It's a 3v3 with only 2 players on TSM having a slither of health to be working with.
Not too much health to be working with, but they're going to go for that heal, I believe. Outside showers, maybe rotate over a little bit, play this angle pan on site on their own, but has those 1 snake bite available just to slow that push. And JMO's still stuck on that operator as well.
Guiding Light coming out and Thief is coming out with it. Yeah, it's just looking like ZK might just not be able to do much here. Just possibly getting 1, and maybe, I was about to say maybe if they can cancel this defusal, they might just be able to have this down in their pockets. But KCP is going to take the 2nd round, and I mean 2 more to go. They need these 2 in order to be able to bring this back up just a little bit.
That's a really great retake coming up from KCP. They still have a lot of ultimates available. I mean, that Viper's Pit did get used pretty early on, and that flick coming out was actually crazy once we saw the Viper's Pit. You thought the advantage was there in the hands of KCP, but it just didn't happen. And we got the Cosmic Divide, and JC Stanny might see that thrown out early on to slow that push, waste some time, or might use it for the retake instead. I like the gravity well that's always done in showers over here, being able to push anybody who is trying to take that aggressive angle off of it. This is Decop farming that ult orb, trying to get that Hunter's Fury closer to being online, and the Trailblazers are going to just clear sight here. And I like that they do go for this kind of showers plant with the Viper's Toxic Screen.
Oh, and that's really good. Not peeking out that, knowing Pony has that operator, and use that Owl drone to get some of that information out. And that was a really good play. Critical actually avoided a possible death that could have happened down in showers, not knowing and not having that much information other than the ult orb being collected. But right now it is looking like a nice rotation is coming down from the side of KCP, and already Weeded is going to be able to take out 1. Oh, JC's
oh no!
Oh, I don't know how well this is going to fare out right now for TSM. I mean, as Payan... Oh, he's able to get 2 here, especially with that Molly, that snake bite coming down. Oh, that actually might have just saved TSM just a little bit.
25 seconds on the clock. It's going to be a hard rotation over towards the B site. I think Payan is looking to maybe bait this rotation off, cutting sound at A. Decop, it would have been a bit too long to try and get over towards B, and they are in
10
fact
seconds
rotating
left.
towards the B site. Critical, last on A by themselves. They have that recon, but oh!
Spike down.
The battle
A.
between the Sovas, Critical is gonna come out on top.
Last
Not
player
enough time to
standing.
get the spike down. And that's another round on the
Last
board
round
for
is a half.
KCP. It was a really good idea, but I question why the players that were still postured towards A didn't play together in that situation. You got to have somebody covering you. You can't guarantee that everyone has rotated off of A site, and with the toxic screen going down as well with that particular timing, it's just really not worth the risk. But the idea was there. I think
I have to agree with you. I
Mhm.
do. I think, in general, right now, I think this is a good timeout, though. This is a really nice active timeout that's going to be able to allow TSM to possibly get this last round. They know, I mean, you have to know that this is the round that you really don't want to give to the opposing side, because it's just one step closer to that victory. Not only that, KCP is just having a really good time here, and TSM needs to know what they're doing wrong to be able to shut this down. Ash, I mean, what do you think they could possibly fix here?
it's kind of hard to say. They're running very similar strategies as previous rounds. They're taking that Viper utility, playing kind of aggressively a short. I do like the combination between the Owl drone that we do see coming out from Decop, able to clear short area, or Pan to be able to push in aggressively like Viper. But it's going to be a B default this time around. You've got that 3-person stack towards A,
Right
as
here.
per usual on these defensive sides. Likely going to see Pan maybe try and fake something over towards the A site. You can see the players by Fountain are playing very far back so they don't get revealed by the guiding light. But the Trailblazer is going to give a bit of information, let the KCP players on B know that there is some presence here. And there's a flank coming out. Double flank, actually.
Perfect.
Oh, and as you
Fine,
say that right there,
right here.
Critical is going to
Deploy.
be traded off. It was a nice 2-pick coming out.
They're expecting for JC Stanny to be there as well, managing to grab Decop while they were in the Owl drone. Huge picks here. If JC Stanny can get control of the spike, it's not going to happen. DK, the better Astra in this situation. JMO aggressively sitting A short, getting that pick on Pan as well. 2v3 now. Gonna try and meet up in Hookah here. See if they can make anything happen. The Blaze Storm is in Pony's hand. All of that jet utility online as well, and right click is gonna miss.
One enemy
And
remaining.
right there, Pony is going to be able to get one. It is going to be TSM having the numbers advantage, and
30 seconds
JMO
left.
a little bit too far
Spike
for comfort. That spike is in fact planted, so there's no way here that JMO could, get that spike plant to be kind of dismissed. But around elbow, there's it's just. Oh, this is hard. JMO has no idea that there are 2 players of TSM down in elbows. And already blocking sight might just be able to get this down half. But once that smoke goes down, 2 players are going to be watching around the corner. And that's just going to lead to beat down of JMO. 9-3, TSM
Switching
getting this
sides.
round. After that half, so it did show that, some of that critical thinking did come into play. But we're in a different half now here.
I liked the post-plan situation that we just saw. The fact that both players on TSM Academy played together, didn't allow those 1v1s to happen, were huge. I still can't believe that Pony got away there after that initial Cloudburst, missing the right click on the Blade Storm and having to pull out that Guardian, and ended up actually prevailing versus the Vandal. Definitely threw Weeded for a loop in that situation, I believe. And now we have swap sides. I'm interested to see how KCP likes to take the attacking half. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw flanks coming out from TSM, and already we're going to see a 3-person push down B long, get that information. One's going to be falling back towards the B site in case anyone's going through Hookah, but they're going to be going the long way around and hopefully sandwiching the KCP players playing here in A short as they try to make their way onto the A site.
Oh, and there's already a flank coming along for TSM. KCP's trying their best to be able to get onto the site, but I don't know how well that's going to fur out as this flank comes through. But it does seem like already KCP is getting as many picks as they possibly can in this pistol round to close this off, but Ash, the flank coming along might just be huge. I mean, Tony about to peek around the corner. Oh, and right there, it's just canceled. It doesn't matter.
Really ready for it. So many kills through cover are going off as well, but a great shock dart taking down We Did from Jacob. We are, you know, in this 2v4 situation. Not counting anyone out yet, but Precision will be taken down by JMO Depop. They're trying to get one for themselves, but JMO's going to close it out with a 3K. KCP looking a lot more comfortable on attack than they were on the defensive side. I mean, it's pretty early to tell. Not sure what's going to happen quite yet. But we want to point out, you know, Critical is doing really well with that Sova utility, has that KDA. 12 and 9. We've got two people on the side of TSM. Both of, you know, you got the Jet entry and then you've got a very surprising, aggressive Viper entry as well. But Pain's allowed to do that because they have ZK online. They have that second controller to be able to make things happen. And it's going to be a bloodbath in short. So many people are falling. We Did grabbing two for themselves. And just like that, it's a 1v4 situation. JC Stanny, though, going to close it out against Decop. Not a terrible idea. A lot of teams do like to play that aggressive, pushing out, play their numbers, see if they can overwhelm and get guns out of the hands of the opposing team. Unfortunately, the gamble had them facing many of the members of KCP, allowing them to get another round on the board. KCP is looking to tie this up, you know, try to stop that momentum, and they already kind of have. In the past 5 rounds, TSM has only been able to grab one for themselves. So KCP is definitely looking to tie it up here, and Gravity Well is going to slow that Showers push a little bit. We're going to have that Trailblazer getting that early info, and JC Stanny with quite the swing.
One down. Blocking sight. Blocking sight.
Aggression coming through. It's gonna work out pretty well as we have it. Precision's gonna get one through the wall and some information coming through for that retake. Although nobody was seen down U-Haul, JMO's always going to be surrounding themselves. It is a 3-man retake, and KCP's I don't know how well this is gonna fare out. Critical did try to peek around the corner and at least take one, but instead it's just gonna be taken down. It is TSM did get this round in their pockets. I don't know, you know, how long this is gonna fare out as these rifles come down.
I mean, the way Critical played that out was the way it should have been done. You gotta take down the person who is watching for the diffuser. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get the kill off the diffuser because a beautiful flick did come out. But 10-5 now. We are nearing match point. TSM is 2 away from that, but a bit of a scuffed buy coming out considering they aren't all able to afford full rifles this time around. We does have that Viper's Pit online. Might pop that if they do manage to grab control of A site, try and guarantee a 6th round on the board for KCP. It's going to be a default though, like maybe farming some of those alt orbs, maintaining control of them, and denying TSM FTX any sort of advantage.
Ugh. Right now, just wavering, trying to see. I do notice KCP is just kind of waiting around, and I like what's happening here. They're trying to wait a little bit later in the game to be able to push through, but it seems like it's not going to happen. Precision is going to have precise gunplay here. And just as that goes through, Pain got some information there with that drone, knowing that they're possibly going to be pushing up, down hookah. It's not, I don't even know what to say anymore. Precision is just completely dominating down B long. Oh, and I mean, Precision has been, you know, a really nice clutch player. I think their frags have always been very important ones, and I mean, I have to give it to them, especially Pain. Pain coming through here with this shotgun is holding a very nice angle. It's very cheeky, and
30 seconds
don't
left.
really necessarily expect that.
It's interesting to see, though, that all players of TSM Academy have actually rotated towards the B site, leaving A completely open, but I'm actually not mad about that play. When you think about it, playing your time, playing together is the way to go. They also have
seconds
spike
left.
control at the moment. Yeah, ignore everything I said previously. I did not notice that they had spike control until just now seeing it on the map. So we did, and the other member of KCP are going to be going for this save round at the moment. Top to screen, providing them a little bit of cover because they do need to retain those rifles for this upcoming round, especially since they did have, you know, the full shields available as well. Don't have to waste the economy on that, and allows their team to buy up with them, have a bit of a closer buy here. And JMO is going to have the Blade Storms online. They were not, unfortunately, KCP didn't make it their way onto either site to be able to use that Viper's Pit to their advantage, but Precision also has the Seekers. That could be great for either, you know, those aggressive pushes out that we like to see, or retakes as well. And Critical's gonna actually get the first pick off.
Yeah, TSM is just trying their best to be able to hold on to a site, and we do have a flank coming along, but I don't know how well that's gonna fare out, especially since the bloodbath's already happening down in showers, and Decop's doing all the work here. It is a 1v1, and that Seekers is gonna be coming out to give out some of that information, and this is gonna be huge. Oh, it's just a battle of the utility at this point. That snake bite did some pretty good damage, but Payan's gonna do even more, get that clean headshot off, and it is match point now, Ash. This is the round where KCP really needs to worry.
Match point. Can't be feeling too great right now. I mean, I thought it was going to be a closer game. I know we talked about that. We thought it was going to be a closer game, but TSM's just dominating right now. I mean, the utility is on point. They're pretty even across the board as well, both in kills and assists, and the util usage has just been superb compared to KCP's. We are going to see ZK one away from that Cosmic Divide, might grab that Alt Orb B long to be able to make some more combinations happen, make that entry onto site a little bit easier. And that Viper's Pit's going to actually finally come out as well.
Oh, this is really nice. It's surrounding both the chokeholds, so it's going to be a little bit harder for KCP to be able to entry here. But right now, Precision has a really, really nice angle. The moment that smoke, it's kind of wavering. It's going in nice little waves like an ocean, and the moment the waves go down, it's a little bit of a peak there, and then they go back up. I like that, but it's just not going to be shown today as KCP goes for that rotation over to A site.
Going quite slowly. I mean, one lurk still towards B. Might meet their demise, but who knows? We're going to see this inch towards short. JC Staney's going to set up with those nebulas, provide a little bit of cover as well, and that flash guiding light is going to go out, but taken down in the nick of time. Pony's able to grab one, but Critical is going to answer with a kill of their own. A lot of damage out on KCP right now. It looks like TSM is itching to close out this round. Spike has yet to be planted.
Nice Viper's Pit. We're going to see the second Viper's Pit come out today, but this time from KCP. I mean, it is a three-man retake here. They can just break through this and be able to take out. We did, but we did. Just going to go for this rotation here. There's 10 seconds. The Viper's Pit is going down, and there is no more utility that we could possibly use here. So it is just going to have to be willpower. I mean, already.
It's an interesting plant spot, too.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with you. That is an interesting plant spot. I guess they're trying to at least eliminate anybody walking past, but it's just not going to happen. TSM is, in fact, going to be taking this 13-5 in a very, very dominant fashion.
It's pretty good for retakes as well to be able to block off those lines of sight, especially for those default plants, to be able to get the views off. But it's going to be a jet battle on top of green here. JMO's going to tailwind away for their life at the moment, and so largely a straight B hit.
One right there already. The very hard push coming in. I don't know if this is exactly where TSM wants to be pushing just yet, but as it goes, they're waiting, trying to get this pig to at least try to eliminate the players on the side of KCP, but just as I say that, Critical is going to get a really nice shock dart down. I think the shock darts are actually really helpful, especially on these pistol rounds, since there aren't any shields to be given. So the shock darts could be doing a lot of damage.
They could be doing a lot of damage. Noise has been cut on the side of TSM. Oh, one step was just made though, so Thief is going to hear that. To let their team know, and you see the rotation is being called from the A site. Sage wall's gonna go up precision, able to get that spike planted. But 4v3 could be anybody's around.
Player standing.
One already. Oh, and he's gonna get that nice 3K down. As Spike is going down, the time is dwindling, and Wendy... I call it Wendy, it's we did, not Wendy. Is just gonna give that 4K down to Pony.
Strong start for TSM once again. Pony with a 4K for themselves in that first round. We're gonna see actually a slight force coming out on the side of KCP. I'm seeing some marshals, some sheriffs as well. I don't think they're really willing to allow TSM to get this second round once again like we saw on Bind. I think the trademarks are interesting. They're setting both of them up for the push from A, just making sure their backs are being watched right now. And the Aldron's going to come out to clear green, and the aggressive updraft is going to come from Pony as well.
Drone is coming in to assist with that entry, and we already got a really fast rotation coming out from KCP here. They did hear some of that utility being used in order to get onto the site, but they're just not going to be able to do anything, especially with these pistols. And of course, it being a map like Icebox, where it's pretty large, I don't know how well these weapons are going to be faring out here.
Bit of a slow retake for now, as the Viper wall does cut off that line of sight. But now that the toxic screen is down, Pony's gonna tailwind away back towards the yellow. TSM Academy definitely holding the advantage here, and definitely a hard spot for KCP to be in. We've got that chamber flanking through mid as well, able to catch one off guard, and JCP is stuck towards... Never mind, Pony's just gonna take them down, and Payan's gonna close it out in a flawless round.
Oh, yeah, TSM, I mean, they have the Spectres there, so you can't really do anything about that, but there is going to be a buy round. The rifle's coming out, and we know how TSM plays, especially in moments like these. Ash, we're about to see a rundown of a lifetime that might possibly come out onto whatever site, but I'm actually extremely excited to see this.
It looks like, surprisingly, it will be the B take once again. Well, actually, I don't know, it's hard. There are long angles both ways around, but the gamble stack of 3 towards A, I think KCP is definitely thinking, okay, there's no way they're going to come towards A. They're not going to take that aggressive, belt peek. They don't have the guns for it. And Weed is just going to delete Pony there as the updraft happens, putting up that toxic screen, allowing their team to maybe rotate, but they're actually going to hold steady, knowing that no commitment's truly being made yet. I do like that we did actually fell back to Snowman, play their life, play the possibility of a rotation, since TSM hasn't given them too much more information as far as things go, and there's an aggressive crossfire here,
right here,
through A main, and I don't know if TSM's going to expect that.
deploying drone.
They're expecting it. Now, I mean, that drone is coming out with some information. Oh, and that's really nice. That drone being able to spot out JMO in just a split of a second. It's going to allow that, jet to be taken down. But it seems like already KCP is it's just going to be an annihilation coming down onto a site. Of course, I mean, what can you do when there are Vandals and Phantoms on the opposing side while you're playing with those Spectres? But I'm surprised. I didn't see that aggressive take that we saw on Bind coming out from TSM. We saw something very, very simple, very let back, and I think that's kind of where, I wouldn't say it went wrong, but it kind of worked out in a way where they were able to get a couple players off the side of KCP.
Well, Gompers, I really think that when it comes down to it, I think that they were trying to go for that aggressive play through B, but the fact that Pony just kind of immediately shot down, their entry power was just completely annihilated, so they kind of had to rethink their strategy and maybe play into the heads of KCP a little bit more. But I think the idea was there. I think you were right with that read initially. They're going to have that Sova drone clearing things out now. Pony's got an operator in their hands actually this time around, and quite the rotation is already being pulled towards B, but waiting for that Viper Poison Cloud to go off before actually hitting the site.
Weeded is getting really nice picks. I mean, Weeded's playing for their life. You said it before. They were kind of waiting around, and that's how We did get, in fact, Pony out.
Spike down B.
That nice one tap on the head. Weeded's just completely annihilating here. It doesn't matter what weapon anybody has. Weeded is holding onto the site with their life, and they know that this is the site you don't want to lose because the retakes on B are kind of hard to get.
They are hard to get, and Spike still is not in the hands of TSM yet. Waiting for that Viper's toxic screen to come up, provide that cover to retrieve it. I'm not sure if they're going to commit to this. Oh, Pony, though, is going to open up the Blade Storm, take down one, get another off kill off, but 2v2 situation. ZK still needs to plant the bomb.
Oh, come on. Yeah, it was looking pretty nice there for ZK, but JMO just had, you know, the better aim in that certain moment in time, but that operator's going to be going into the hands of JMO. Ugh, and that's going to be pretty hard. Pony was owning with that operator in the first half of that round, but giving it to JMO here, it is looking pretty scary for TSM.
TSM is in a pretty scuffed situation economy-wise now. I mean, trading 2 rounds for 2 rounds puts you in the situation that you had your opponents in, to be quite honest. We do have, you know, there is going to be that tool to false in Pain's hands if they do elect to activate it, and that is going to come out pretty early on, but JMO is going to be here to kind of answer that, and we're going to see what the duel of the ops is going to have in store.
Pain's watching. Oh, and JMO just peeks around the corner. It's not even a competition at that point. It is just a difference in abilities. JMO being able to just dash out there, not getting picked off or traded already. It seems like it's just a battle onto the site, but having that operator in hand, getting that first initial pick is definitely going to be helping here and leaving Zeke all by their lonesome. ZK, not Zeke. Don't know why I keep calling them Zeke here, but 3-2. Now the rifles are coming here, Ash.
Rifles are coming here, but KCP has that advantage with the Hunter's Fury, able to use, Critical might use that for the plant, you know, use the ultimate on the common plant spots, the defaults, or even just through the choke points if they're able to get that early information, or the retake as well. Got that Blade Storm online for JMO in case he does get stuck in a sticky situation, all things considered, and Empress is always a force to be reckoned with.
JMO's watching around the corner waiting, and there's a lot of players off TSM here. Ooh, being able to see those feet, but now they have that information. JMO is around here with that operator. We need to be a little bit more careful, maybe use some of that utility here on this aggression, but yeah, it's just very slow as of right now.
I like Pan's lurk up A. Pan's been doing a really great job lurking through the sites that they're not hitting or through mid. I'm just waiting to see if they can hear the footsteps of the enemy players on KCP, making those rotations off. But it's going to be largely a mid play. That alarm bot, though, is going to give that early information to JC, and the Nanoswarm's going to slow the push through CP as well.
Spike down A.
But it's spiked down, it's in the hands of KCP, and TSM really has to figure out a way to be able to at least try to eliminate as many players as possible. It is a 3v6 where you have this a Jet, a Viper, and Nova on both sides, and he's gonna come out and it's gonna be able to do here, and this is gonna be huge. ZK is by themselves as this Viper's pick comes out in the hopes of the players. ACP is still there, and already. What in the world? It was honestly, Ash, this was the craziest round I think I've seen all day.
I was about to say, I mean, Pony updrafting and actually bringing Pan to their demise with that updraft, the fact that they were tagged out, the Hunter's Fury going for that, you know, upper level, or actually it was Decop, sorry, not Pan, but being able to take down that member as well because of the updraft was insane with the Hunter's Fury, and then the lineup that ZK managed to find, the fact that the push in from the players on KCP was so in sync that they decided to play a conga. Really unfortunate for them.
I have to. I don't even know what to say. That actually just kind of cat got my tongue at this point. But let's see. We're already getting some aggression onto the site. We do have a resurrection coming out for TSM, so I think at this point, maybe a precision play a little bit back here. They might just be able to at least utilize that resurrection to the best of their ability. Kills coming through for Pony, and that's going to allow them to be able to back out here really quickly. But JMO with the operator is just kind of unstoppable. I mean, at this point, you got to be careful. use some of that utility to at least kind of hold that defuse. And as the defuse goes down, this is it for TSM. Decop can't really do anything about it, just waiting and holding with this op to try to at least get some frags.
Scanning ahead.
Yep. Saving the operator, keeping it in their hands for now. Not a bad play, but TSM feels the momentum that KCP is trying to steal away, and is going to come out with this pause just for now. And trying to think, I mean, KCP is really rolling with these retakes for the most part. Quite honestly, they're playing together. The rotations are actually pretty quick as far as things are considered, now at least. But I would like to see TSM maybe going back to trying those fakes, maybe the lurks coming up as well, maybe a lurk through B instead of through A or mid, just to switch things up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. What are you thinking so far, Gompers? It's been such a close match so far.
I honestly don't know. Yeah, this is probably one of the closest matches we've had. This is a hard one. I think I do like, though, how the timeout is active here, especially at this kind of in the middle of the round where TSM is not really at a comfortable position. They had this really nice round, but you can't always have those clutch rounds come into play, especially in positions like that. People aren't just going to line up for you every day and give you that conga line to be able to shoot off of. So we're gonna see an operator though. I do think this op might just be able to be important enough to the point where maybe the beginning picks are being given over to TSM, but we do have JMO.
Yep, and I agree with what you said. It's going to be an aggressive mid take though here. That Sova dart is going to come out, clear out orange a little bit, get some information. I like that TP that Payan has taken on top of Tube here, trying to get it off of aggressive angle with the operator, and Sweden is going to fall back. Payan's good for one, taking down JC Stanley. Good for the trade.
Oh, we did thinking about it. Oh, this is looking pretty scary. I mean, as this smoke goes down, it might just be the end of it. Yep, Toxic Screen is coming down. We did is still alive, although a lot of the players are surrounding themselves down B here.
Definitely nervous that they're behind them or whatnot, but that snakebite's going to go down to deny that plant. And TSM had a bit of control of B, but all things considered, it's not looking too great. They're not able to get that spike down quite yet. They also don't have the safety of a sage wall to get that plant on B either, and can be swung from multiple areas. That toxic screen's going to go back up, and they're going to take a bit more space for themselves.
30 seconds left.
Oh yeah, 30 seconds. TSM has to be able to at least get the spike down here in this time, but I mean, on a map like Icebox, I do have to say, going in for this really, really late plant is going to be hard, especially since all KCP has to do is use some that you dump it down and kind of refuse that plant. So at this point, TSM just has to be playing for this. Honestly, for these picks at this point.
Yeah, there's no way Spike's going to be down. They can't win the round out at this moment. I mean, you also saw Thief was on that flank, pushed out A main, got the information for KCP to let the rest of the team know, hey, they're not rotating off. It's not a fake. You know, they did cut noise, but they will be re-hitting because I have all of this space and I have all of this info. So there's no way they could have backed out now. And if they do, I'll give you ample amount of time heads up. But with the amount of time, like you mentioned, Gompers, it had run down to the point where another play couldn't be made. There was no time for that rotation, especially to be met with that flank. But we do have that Viper's Pit online for We Did. JC Stanley has that lockdown as well, either to delay the push onto site or for the retake. And some aggressive angles are going to be held here. Thief can dismiss away after getting that first pick on ZK.
I feel like it's hard for TSM to get as aggressive as they were on Bind here because it's just the angles being held. Thief is getting aggressive, able to dismiss out, and your job as that Reyna player in as well. As We Did just honestly at this point, of course it's being a flawless. It was a save round though for the side of TSM, so of course it's going to go over to KCP. But Ash, I mean the angles in general, you can't really do anything when KCP just has such a tight hold.
Well, I think if you see that owl drone coming out maybe a bit earlier just to clear the on top of pipes, because they know that KCP likes to take these, or 410, sorry, not pipes, But because those aggressive angles are common for them, an earlier owl drone could be helpful. But I mean, we also did clean up that round in particular, and we do have the resurrection, like you mentioned, is online, and everyone's favorite Viper's Pit on A site is going to come out, just completely negating any view of both Raptor's nest and site itself.
Some information trying to come out, and it is hiding in a particular spot for this particular Viper ulti in general, but I don't think there's any necessary way that they can know that right here. We do have a nice hold bottom and top. Although the spray through is going to come down. I don't know if TSM is going to be able to get anything here though, Ash.
I'm not sure if they will be. Some pre-fires happening here, but JMO's pushed up all the way through B long now, and ZK's just waiting in spawn for that flank just to get that information. It's going to get rotation calling it off from A site, moving towards mid instead. We do have a 3 stack towards the A site at the moment. Plus, Pan's just waiting, making sure no pushes come through, but Thief's actually going to take them down.
I feel like I'm seeing a lot more... I'm seeing a lot more technicality going into the plays of KCP. They're playing together really well. And I mean, JMO with the operators just being able to take down those players as it is. But right now, yeah, Stanny's just going to be taken out. This is going to allow Pony to possibly... Nope, not going to go for, you know, that lockdown just yet. We did is on the other side, though. It is a 3v3. That spike is down. So all Pony has to do is be able to at least defend as much as possible. But there is a lurk, a flame coming around Pony. And we did just, yeah, just taking down Pony as it is.
One enemy remaining.
Precision. Ash, this is looking pretty scary. Yep, it's not going to go towards KCP. As soon as that spike started taking a little faster precision, it was game over.
Yeah, I was holding my breath for a second there. I wasn't sure if anything was going to be able to happen, to be quite honest. I was just waiting it out, feeling it out, trying to... The tension was building, and... However, TSM, they do have 4 ultimates online as well. One was great with that take there, being able to push up to spawn, get that pick off on JC Stanian. I know you mentioned they didn't take down the lockdown, but I think that was the play.
Yeah.
Lockdown isn't that strong on B, and all things considered, that there was space, there was cover. There was really no need to rush in and try to annihilate that. But going back towards the B site, you're gonna see the same kind of plays we saw a couple rounds ago. The owl drone up Pony, taking that green control up top, the vertical angles, and not sure if they're going to be ready for We Did on top of these double boxes.
Oh, and this is really nice too, because that utility is not allowing anybody to be able to peek We Did until, you know, it's right. And never mind. As I say that, Pony knows exactly where We Did's going to be hiding here, and they do have a really nice chance. I mean, 3 players only on KCP. They could possibly get this spike down here, but they just have to be careful. There is somebody sitting right around the corner waiting for that spike to be planted. Pony is going to be able to take that out, though, and as this goes down, it's just a battle as to whether or not... Actually, they did get the spike down. TSM is, you know, they have this post plant down, Ash.
Critical also has that recon dart available. JMO, though, has the operator in hand. It looks like it's going to be a save. KCP kind of saying, okay, we have the round advantage here. We can give this one up for now. It's not really worth sacrificing the operator, sacrificing the eco. Instead, they're going to be going for, you know, the exit frags. But TSM Academy will be moving as a full unit towards CT, making sure that nobody is able to fall, and just to save their guns. Not going to go hunting this time around.
Spike goes down just as that squirrel and worm watch it. Yeah, TSM's coming back up, and I think at that we're seeing KCP. They're having a really good time on the defense, but they're not doing so dominant. So I mean, I guess you could say it is pretty equal grounds here. TSM and KCP are both equally just as good on these positions. But the matter of the fact is, when one of these teams go on the other side, who is going to have that weakness, or is it going to be the same iteration of back and forth again?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, like I said, got those ultimates online. The resurrection still hasn't come out yet. That Hunter's Fury is going to come out early for hopefully an early tag, but it's going to connect with a few players actually. No, the other Hunter's Fury is going to connect with a few players actually. It's going to be 5v5 situation still. But Thief with that aggressive angle already pushed up A main. Managed to take down Pony.
That resurrection can come through. I didn't see that a lot. But we're finally going to be able to see it. It seems like Thief is going to come through, be able to get that 4K down, and JMo's just going to close this off in a nice orderly fashion. 7-5 closing this out, but TSM might just be able to bring it back. They just really have to dominate in this defense.
I mean, it's not really a big gap, to be honest with you. 2 rounds. It is KCP's map pick as well when it comes down to it, so there's really no surprise there. However, Icebox tends to be... it depends on who you ask. Some people maybe feel it's more defender-sided, some people maybe feel it's more attacker-sided, but ultimately, like you said, we're switching sides. I'd like to see TSM, holding their ground. Pony was definitely a force to be reckoned with on the attack, but on defense, you can't really leave it up to a star player like that every single time. You're not looking for those entry frags. You're not getting those first bloods out. You've got to play a bit more coordinated, and Critical's going to come out with that Owl drone just to clear the A site.
Following through, KCP is coming in pretty hot and heavy. TSM, I think at this point the best take for TSM is to at least let Payan play with the team here. Being able to get that first take though is going to be pretty nice, playing into their hands. It is a 4v4 now, but Sova on the side of TSM does really only have 15 health to be working off of, but it's really nice. It's really nice to have that Sage in hand there for that heal.
That it is indeed, and Spike has been placed down. The Nano Swarm going out a little bit early.
There, it's just a battle for this retake, and the Spike is going down at this point. They really need to start trying to get Spike defused. KCP is just going to be able to dominate in that fashion, and this is going to be rough because right now it's going to lead to a possible victory for KCP unless TSM decides to, force here.
Did you see what happened on Generator? The fact that, I can't remember who it was, but they dropped right next to JC standing. JC did not notice, but was able to actually get the flick off and get the kill for themselves. Critical, though, definitely won that round, outplaying Nest like that. Being able to hop on top of that Sage wall, get that final kill off, not allow the defuse to happen was huge. Like you said, this bonus round will or not bonus, but a buy-up, technically, will likely go to KCP, allowing them to bonus the round after, but TSM could still have a fighting chance, even if KCP takes this round. If TSM can manage to take enough guns out of the hands of KCP, the third round of this half should almost be guaranteed for them.
Oh, and it's going to be really hard, though, especially since TSM has a lot of players down A, and at this point, it seems like, honestly, TSM might have just read into KCP. But right now, maybe holding these close corners, trying to get these weapons out of their hands. The Precision is able to get one, but I don't know how well this is going to fare out, since Precision cannot really do anything. They can't move forward to at least try to get the rifles or this SMGs out of the hands of them. But yeah, it's KCP all the way coming out here, just rushing onto site, knowing that they have that advantage.
JMO is even able to pick up a a Phantom for themselves, so that is pretty big for their economy. I mean, like I said, TSM, at the very least, they got 3 of the players off of KCP offline. They got those guns out of the hands of KCP and are forcing them to either, bonus with a pistol or force up like we're seeing with these rifles across the board. Thief is also 1 away from that Empress, which could be a huge win condition for KCP. If Thief is able to get that off online, it could make isolating these 1v1s and making these plays for KCP so much better on this attacking side, and a lot of holes in the defense of TSM.
Oh, that drone's coming through. Everybody from KCP is coming in with it. TSM needs to, try not to give these early picks onto the side of KCP, just simply because it's kind of given them a really nice leisurely time getting onto the sites, especially since there are less and less people accumulating onto A. But this rotation might just come through here, Ash.
The rotation is somewhat
area.
coming through here. I mean, they have fallen back, resetting a little bit, but still going towards the A site. They did cut noise, KCP. You're kind of slowly creeping their way through, but surprisingly, there are three members, I believe, of TSM who stayed behind, and frags are going to go out everywhere.
Oh, the decop! It was looking really scary there for decop for a second, but the moment decop peeks this, it's just gonna be an annihilation. Already one enemy remaining, Payan. Oh, it's just gonna go down. I do want to see a little bit more of that rendezvous, though. I don't think we've seen a lot of that rendezvous being used, and I think that could really help Payan get up and dirty, especially on this map.
It really could. I mean, we've seen Payan on the attacking side use it to get like vertical angles on top of tube and whatnot, but not so much of the rendezvous action that I was talking about before for those first points of contact. Payan definitely plays more of a ratty sentinel instead of the aggressive chamber that I mentioned before, but a little bit of chamber aggression here on B main. Not going to be met with anything though, because on this save round, KCP will be going towards the A site.
Oh, decop. Using that Ares that I said they would possibly use, but I mean, there really isn't that much of a use for the Ares and the Odin here on these maps. Pony is going to be able to get one here, though. It's going to be a nice frag, but I don't know how well this is going to fare out, especially for KCP here, getting this entry down. And a lot of the players already are losing a ton of health as it is, especially with that Viper util surrounding about. This is Viper's playground at this point.
It is Needed and ZK about to meet each other. ZK is going to get that kill off, though.
Yep, Thief's location being given away. Tony's going to get that 3K to close it out. And TSM, they have to keep coming here. They have to keep doing what they're doing. And continuously getting these points in are going to be important, especially since KCP's reaching that point where, you know, at that point, the points aren't going to matter as much, and KCP might just close this out. But TSM, they need to continue on into this fashion.
I just want to say, I mean, we do know Pony did work with that Marshall, but I do want to point out ZK, with the positioning that they had on top of screens there, and the poison clouds they had put up, allowed them to create a one-way for themselves, allowing them to get some free picks off. But KCP is going to revisit their strategies a little bit, go for this B play instead, and Payan's going to be met with this Aldrum, see if he can dodge it here.
Oh, this is a really nice one. I do like that Payan was playing it pretty safe there, trying to get that spray down. But already, we do have a lockdown coming out. It could possibly, it is going to be backing out the players of TSM. This is going to be a free take onto site for KCP here. And as that lockdown goes down, it seems like so do the players of TSM. They're dropping like flies, peeking these angles that they probably should have, but it seems like Pony's going to be able to get two here, not the third. And as we bring this down, we're going to see Thief versus Chamber. Yep, and Thief is just going to take that. It honestly... Oh!
I was about to comment on how nasty of a flick that was on Thief's part to be able to get that headshot onto Payan, just flick down, lock on, and then, you know, the BM's gonna come out. Everybody's favorite finisher there, but Pony with the Blade Storm did annihilate.
Let's not get a replay on that one. Let's go back for a second. I was kind of flabbergasted at when I saw that because I was like, oh, look at that. He's gonna go, you know, give him a little greeting, but that was not the greeting that he gave him. We're gonna see ZK sitting on top, putting that Viper's pit down. And Payan's trying to watch here, trying to at least get some early picks on the spot. And I do like that aggression we're finally seeing that we talked about previously. But, you know, not getting that first initial pick, we need to be seeing those.
I also love that we have the bug right now on Payan's screen, so it actually looks like Payan's holding nothing. Meanwhile, the Toll de False is actually in their hands, but actually going back and trying to get in through this Viper's pit is going to be a dangerous situation.
Hunter's Fury's coming out to maybe try to create some space, but it didn't really do much. I kind of like, but also hate how TSM is Oh my gosh,
down.
Pony. I'm gonna
Attackers
continue. I'm gonna seriously stop what I was thinking here. Pony just completely dominated with that 2K there, and that's gonna really help out TSM. But I was gonna say they have a lot of reliance towards A, knowing that KCP, you know, they go towards A a lot of the time here. But I like this fast rotation coming in. I was gonna say that might not be able to save the situation of whether or not KCP goes over to the site, but as it is, having that fast rotation come down, it did help, in fact. But it is a 1v1. Viper versus Viper, Ash. We're going to have to see who might just be the better Viper.
I have the spike.
Oh, ZK probably thought that you know, spike was in fact going to be 100% planted and try to get a little sneaky in on that.
Yeah, but no, we played it right, got that tap off just to get the information of where ZK was. So many people fell at the same time. Pony able to get that. Pony with like basically that Apex movement, trying to just bunny hop away, get out of the way, be able to play their life a little bit after the dash. Getting those 2 picks was huge. Like you said, another round on the board for KCP. 11-7 now. Creeping closer to match point. They're 1 away from that. And TSM has quite a few rounds to recover, but it still could be a very close game, especially if TSM is able to get this eco round off their belts. But now Drone's going to get a bit of information tagging up Pony, causing them to fall back.
Here.
Oh, and TSM just loves surrounding themselves down A. Oh goodness, yeah, this looks like it's gonna be a pretty fast round that's gonna happen here. We do see it coming out. That's possibly gonna be able to do something, but KCP Thief is just gonna be coming through, and right now TSM is trying to hold on to the site as much as they possibly can. But what can you do when you only have a little tiny thread to hold them by? Right now, Precision. Good. Actually, Precision just kind of popped off here with that Sheriff.
Precision did pop off with the Sheriff. JC going for that fake spike plant just to maybe draw out some information, but TSM Academy, they're going to be playing their lives here, playing with each other, maybe waiting to see if, I'm not sure how much longer until the heal. I know that Precision just used it just now, but the resurrection's actually going to come out.
Oh, that's huge for Precision there. Yeah, the spike is ticking. This is going pretty well. TSM is finally, you know, they're able to kind of bring this back a little bit more. But it is still 11-8. TSM has to keep doing this. They can't lose any more rounds than what they have, because then it's match point, Ash. And I mean, we keep saying it. Of course, you don't want to be in a position with match point, because then at that point, it's almost over. Yeah, I mean, TSM's doing a really good job of holding A site, but they need to try to gain that same control over on B. Because, I mean, KCP kind of have been doing that rotation out of A, knowing that B side is completely clear.
I agree with you, and that was a really critical round actually for TSM to get under their belts, forcing KCP onto this save, likely inching the scoreboard a little bit closer, hopefully bringing it to 11-9. And I think it's interesting that TSM has actually called this timeout just now. Both interesting and not at the same time. They are on a rifling round, so obviously they want to make sure TSM plays it out the right way, has those strategies set up so that they don't lose too many guns and can secure the round for themselves. Because, I mean, if KCP throws them that Uno reverse card and pulls off a thrifty of their own, TSM's going to be in a pretty perilous position. But looking to bring it closer, TSM obviously wants to close this out 2-0 and catch up to KCP here, and looks like it's a bit of a posture towards the A site. We're gonna see, yep, posture towards A, maybe taking those long angles, actually maybe going for more of that mid control is what it seems like for now. And I might just be eating my words here. They're kind of dancing all around the map, but
That works.
That works. I like that. I don't know why I just repeated that, but we're gonna completely ignore the fact that I just tried to voice act for a second. Although a lot of the players of KCP are trying to push towards... This is a new play that we haven't seen yet, Ash. We're seeing a lot of KCP going over down mid. but they're singling themselves out. I don't know what exactly happened during that tech pause, but they're playing way more separately than what they have prior, and they're just getting picked off by TSM at this point. It is also a pistol round, I do have to say, but I mean, this round's over faster than when it began.
Is JCP in this 3v1 situation. Able to clutch it out. But Pony is going to be on that flank. Take down JC standing. 9-11 now. Still favoring KCP. But TSM definitely has a bit of that cushion for their economy. They're also one away from a few ultimates. ZK might be able to fight for an ult orb here. Get that Viper's Pit online. Be able to throw it out either A or B. And, you know, just slow down that push. Make it a little bit more dangerous. And you also have 3 ults on the side of KCP, though, which I'm sure they'll try to use in combination to get it to match point.
Scanning ahead.
So I'm not sure if that information... Yep, information. It is coming through down mid, but KCP... Ooh, and they're just getting the picks down mid. It's looking pretty rough for the side of TSM at this point. And the moment the rifles come out for KCP, they just completely dominate. Of course, last round was a save round, but this round doesn't matter. Viper's Pit is coming out, and already a lot of the control of site is being given over to KCP so free. And I mean, like I said, too much hold being given over to a site. And then you have a lot of this rotation coming through late rounds, and I mean, KCP already has that side control, so it doesn't matter.
No, you got that Viper's Pit. No. TSM has one player lost alive. Precision is going to try and make some moves here, but Spike is ticking down. Not quite enough time to clear everything. Able to get that Viper offline, but the nanoswarms are just going to deny the defuse. JC Stanny closing it out. 12-9 now, match point.
Oh, okay. I thought the turret of KJ actually denied that wall coming out from Precision, but it seemed like the Spike was just in the perfect position. Precision just couldn't get that through, and I mean, JC Stanny had some really good nano swarms down on the Spike to kind of deny that as that came through. KCP is, though, at match point, and honestly, we might just be able to see Haven as our third map. We're seeing a lot of map diversity today.
It's definitely a treat to see this map diversity, but, you know, lockdown online for JC Stanny. And we've got a couple ultimates for TSM as well. That Viper's Pit is going to come out denying the B main area for the time being, but Thief is just going to annihilate Payan, and the Hunter's Fury is not going to find much. I mean,
Thief is...
slow creep.
Yeah, Thief is in a really nice position here, although I don't know how well this is going to work out.
The slow creep is coming up B main as well. The lockdown is going to be initiated by JC Stanny, trying to force ZK out of this Viper's Pit here, having to leave it or else risking getting it detained. But, you know, moving up through B main, ZK is actually going to maintain that aggressive position. Takedown 2. And Thief is just still creeping up mid here. They're going to have to retrieve the Spike Gompers, but Thief might get actually walked up upon.
Oh yeah, they have 40 seconds to be able to get the Spike wave. Oh, the fake came through, but I feel like right now is the time, although they just don't know that. They don't know exactly who's surrounding themselves downside, and as that plant goes down, it's just a very, very quiet retake.
3v2.
No charges left.
Oh my, I don't even, yeah. Oh! It's just very quiet at that point, trying to build some of the tension there. Seems like Decoff's just going to close this off, and match point, whatnot. We do have, I do like seeing the double-digit numbers. I feel like that makes my brain feel like, at least at this point, it's a little bit closer for TSM. 2 more rounds to go, and we're going to overtime.
We really might be going to overtime. I mean, the Empress is available. We are 1 away from the Blade Storm. However, I think the Ult Orbs would be better suited in Critical's hands, being able to bring it up to maybe 6 out of 8 ult, 7. Sorry, I can't do math right now, clearly. 7 out of 8 ult points. It would be under Critical's belt, and a frag off would, you know, I mean, the Hunter's Fury is online as well if KCP wants to close this round out, but it's going to be an aggressive push towards the A site so far. And taking some pipes control, the Owl Drone going out as well, and he's going to enter with that Leer.
Clear comes out. We're seeing it looked like an aggressive push in the beginning, but it seems like it's just going to be one pick coming out from Pagan. And right now, another one from Deep. I mean, TSM being able to get those 2 picks is huge. Now this retake is going to be even bigger, but the question at that is, I mean, try not to get picked off at this point. It's at the point where if you get picked off and you lose that one player, it might just be one of those domino effects where you lose multiple. But at this point, this retake onto site is going to have to be heavy, and it's going to have to be huge. Ooh. Already coming through. KCP, it's the domino effect like I was talking about previously. Already multiple members of TSM being let out. KCP is fighting for their lives, and already ZK being left with a slither of health to be working off of, and this is going to be huge. Precision having a nice flank here. That's going to be leaving a 1v1, 33 health, and the spike is already taking. It's not looking like it's going to go in TSM's favor.
Attackers
Looks
win.
like we're going to be taking it to match 3.
Really directed towards you as a player, and if you can't frag out, then at that point, Reyna's completely useless.
I agree, but we did see Thief did pretty well on Icebox, so wouldn't be surprised if we saw another iteration of that coming out this time around. KCP is starting on the attacking half, going for that double duelist composition. It's going to give them quite a bit of entry power. Sova for that information, and got that Killjoy with the turret and the alarm bot able to watch flank for you, which is huge on a map like Haven. It's going to be a bit of information gathering here in mid, jumping out, taking a little bit of map control, but like I said, that alarm bot is on B at the moment, just kind of waiting to see if anybody's going to push through, and Nebula's going to go up as well.
Another slow push from KCP. Yeah, just this is gonna be very slow. I don't see a lot of, players of TSM surrounding themselves down B, and this might just be one of those things where they're trying to figure out what their setup should be, especially, as they don't necessarily know how KCP's plays. But already that alarm bot's gonna give some information, but it's gonna be a little bit too late. Oh, actually that gravity well played fared very well for, kind of allowing the time to tick through and getting that rotation in here.
There are gonna be 4 players though from TSM pushing out of garage here with that guy being light.
Oh yeah, it's a bloodbath here. KCP completely read into possibly a player, seeking out through garage, but as it is, it seems like multiple players were just pushing through, and that really did play well into KCP. But as it is, it's going to be leaving one player on the side of TSM by themselves, and Pony not going to be able to create any magical moves today. It's just going to go towards KCP being in the first round.
I really like the double window hold that came up from KCP having weeded, and I believe it was JMO or JC Stanny. Can't quite remember. There were so many people around on the map, but
Yeah.
I did like that double window hold. Like I said, being able to be ready for those garage pushes, and you also had Thief, who was just underneath stairs, having a bit of that difference in verticality. You'd kind of have to pick, okay, which player am I going to go for with this frag? And looks like a bit of a default might be coming out, or another mid aggression from KCP, and a gamble stack has been made towards the A site from TSM actually.
Oh, Critical's watching out here. They know that this aggression is going to be coming through from TSM. But the situation at hand is Glenn, and right now, already Critical's going to be taken down. But, I mean, they have the upper hand here, especially with KCP having these Spectres, and this is the moment. What can ZK do, especially with this shorty? Already one enemy remaining. Give the ace to Thief. Thief is fiending for this ace right now, as Payan is just waiting, very scared.
Like how they're just playing far back because they know that TSM has elected to commit to this push-up, and suspect that Payan may have even done the same thing, but it might get the timing off here if Thief decides to look away.
Yeah, that ace is coming through for Thief. It's the first ace. It is not the first ace. Is it the first ace that we've seen all day? Maybe.
Oh, is that a question that you're asking me?
Yeah.
To be honest, everything is maybe bleeding together a little bit right now, so
Yeah.
I can't quite say, but definitely a huge ace for Thief. However, it was a buy-up round. They did have the advantage with that Spectre to be able to secure that, and the Empress is already going to be online. And with a Phantom in Thief's hands, this could be another magic moment for them to be able to, you know, maybe pop that Empress in a particular kind of situation and isolate those 1v1s, use the dismiss to get out of some sticky situations. But it's going to be another aggressive hit towards the B site, but a bit earlier on this time around. Oh, and Pan's going to get those kills through the smoke.
Oh, the spray down with the utility. And I mean, I'll iterate it on it later, but right now it seems like JC Stani is going to be able to get a little bit more aggressive up onto the site, playing that figure, that duelist figure that you need in order to create some space there, but I don't know how well this is going to fare out. Two players on the side of KCP really do have a little bit of help to be working with here, and Payan having, the bullets ran out at the perfect time there. The critical's right around the corner, and Payan knows exactly what's going on, and we might just be able to see a second ace come into play, but is going to be able to shut it down. Not going to let it happen. We might be able to see a clutch here coming out from as that one tap comes through. KCP, if they pull this together, this is going to be intense for TSM.
Those nanoswarms are still available as well, but throwing them will give weeded space away. So just waiting, but Pony is ready for the peek from backside of B. That was a nail biter. Gompers, like you said, it could have gone anybody's way, but TSM, it shouldn't get that first run on the board for them, win out that rifling round.
I like how Payan switched up the utility. We saw only an alarm bot down B. Once TSM knew that KCP does like some of that mid control, we saw a lot more util surrounding down, and we saw Payan put that nanoswarm down to be able to at least hold back that aggression coming onto B site, and it worked out extremely well.
I agree with you, and gonna scuff by all the way around. Forces coming out from both sides actually instead of looking for that save. And it's gonna be your classic C split push. Silva Drone's gonna get that information push, possibly with Jet.
It's a push coming through Garage, but I don't know how well this is gonna work, and D-Cop able to get 3 with this ultimate. Oh my, D-Cop just completely clutched up with the ult alone, and all that's left is D-Cop with JC Stani. Will D-Cop be able to clutch this up? That util is going to be extremely helpful here, Ash, but as this Cosmic Divide comes out, how well can D-Cop... Oh, through the wall! TSM is... I don't even know what's going on anymore. TSM's bringing the heat in this map in particular, and the clutches are coming through heavy.
D-Cop is out here just, you know, arresting KCP, able to clutch out that round. I mean, I cannot believe the Hunter's Fury. You know, it was a 4v1 kind of situation that we were going to see, but the fact that all of KCP was stuck in Garage there, the Hunter's Fury coming out and being able to just annihilate 3 of them. And D-Cop... D-Cup's probably yelling. D-Cup probably jumped out of their seat after that last kill.
He did a little bit of an Albert Einstein there when you think about it. He was like, "Hey, you want to see what electricity feels like?" And at that point, it was just over. I don't even know if that really is a good analogy, but we're just gonna use it and pretend it is.
Get out of my way.
Already, we're having a lot of aggression coming out here, Ash, and KCP does pretty much have the site in their hand, but TSM is really fighting back here. They're getting really, and it's over. TSM just got extremely aggressive on this retake and did not allow that spike to be planted.
I mean, after a round like the previous one, how can you not? I think if the hype is there, they have the momentum, they have that three rounds under their belts in a row now, and I mean, Economy, they're still going to be on those Spectres. So they've been bonusing those Spectres for another round so far. And KCP is going to be in a precarious position. They're really going to need to use that lockdown to their advantage. Take control of whatever site they decide to hit. Or else they're going to be stuck in that on and off Economy if they do lose this round as well. Allowing TSM to gather an even greater lead than they already have.
Keep lining out to at least try to get out of window was pretty nice, but I mean that leaves one blind to be used at this point. And I like the utility. Payan has been surprising me with the util usage, and I don't think I've seen, you know, a lot of people that have that mentality, that have, you know, that brain power to at least know where to surround the utility, and a lot of this mid control's coming through here.
I would like Precision to actually try and grab those Seekers from A long right now. Maybe get that last ult orb to have that ultimate online, but KCP's given a lot of information as far as presence towards mid. Critical's gonna clear out A lobby a little bit as well. But it's gonna be a rotation being pulled so far, trying to clear out A site. But Spike is actually gonna make their way. Never mind. I am being baited as well. I am being baited as much as TSM is being baited.
30 seconds left.
Oh no. Here we go. This is it. I mean, TSM knows a lot of mid control is being taken from KCP majority of the rounds, but honestly, JC Stani's just having a hard time here with the classic showdown. And it's just going down. I don't even know what's going on this round. It's a run and gun feud. It's just a party with the run and gun at this point, and I honestly, the site switch might just be a mistake as 4 seconds already go down. The Spike is not able to get through, and right now, all that needs to happen is Payan just waiting. I mean, Ash, thoughts?
KCG just played it way too slow there. I'm not sure why they gave the amount of respect to TSM that they did in that previous round, considering the fact that they knew TSM did have those Spectre buys. You know, you just take those longer aim duels as opposed to getting up close and personal. But I do want to say, Precision loves the run and gun with the Spectre. If you saw what was going on A short there, just strafing back and forth to be able to get so much damage off of JC Stanny there was very well done on their part. But Pony's actually going to answer with that initial operator pick just to maybe shut things down for KCP a little bit.
No, and Pony's just
Spike down mid.
getting these nice picks down mid. I think KCP's being a little bit too predictable here, Ash.
They continue to go for that mid aggression round and again, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it hasn't been working out. And Decop not able to get one in this situation, unfortunately, but does get the information for their team. TSM. Pony's already on the A site though, pulling out those blade storms.
Oh, I mean, some damage done, but I don't know how well that's going to be able to be used, but it seems like Pony only has an operator to be played. Oh!
Looks like Valorant is stronger.
Pony! I don't even know what's going on anymore, Ash. There are so many huge clutches coming into play. And I mean, at this point in the game, this being the final game to see who is going to be proceeding on to finals, this is the game that you want to be seeing.
Pony just dominated that round, being able to get that 4K out and bring another round on the board for TSM. KCP looking to slow down that momentum, calling this time out. Just maybe, you know, giving a little bit of thought to how they want to proceed, maybe moving away from that typical mid push and mid aggression that we've been seeing. I mean, they are able to get a lot of that map control through grass. But that last round that we saw, I'm not sure why they allowed the clock to run down so much, to be quite honest with you. I mean, if it didn't seem like B was going to be something that they could turn into a play, they would have been better off rotating off, maybe trying to give up that map control and get map control somewhere else. But I'm sure we're going to see some strategy changes coming up. But TSM has just been an iron wall of defense so far. Being able to, especially with those bonus rounds that they had, just take guns out of the hands of KCP. It's been tough, and we're going to see more of a classic A split push this time around, and actually perhaps a gamble stack towards the A side as well, with 3 players and just leaving and being open with the turret to watch.
Oh, Decop is going to be spotted out. And Critical's off that information, knowing that there's people on the site. This is a really, really good drone, but will it be able to even clear majority of the site? Nope. It's going to be a Hunter's turret coming out instead, and Decop's going to get a really nice one through the smoke. And already 3v3. A lot of the players are being traded out here. There's not a lot you can be working with the Decop. I do have to say Decop has been insane with the shock darts, getting that damage in, and Pony watching around this corner. I don't know how easy or how well this is going to be to peek this, but Thief with the wide swing, that's going to be huge, taking out the operator as it is, and this retake's going to be a little bit harder for the side of TSM, but as that flank comes through, so do the hopes.
One enemy
Critical's
remaining.
just pinched here, not watching their back. Precision's gonna get that one kill, and 1v1 situation. Trailblazer's gonna come out.
Oh, that Hawk out Precision is going to be a little bit more precise with the gunplay. And right now that defuse and the teabag is coming through. It's not a teabag, never mind. It's a friendly gesture. It's a friendly gesture, but that op is going to be coming back into the hands of TSM, and we're possibly going to see Pony do a little bit more next round.
It's definitely really unfortunate that we saw, you know, Critical let themselves expose, their back exposed, instead of maybe trying to back up into a different corner, having their back covered, considering the fact that they did not have the information. They didn't have their Killjoy online to have the flank covered, and only Short is being watched at the moment, right? But
Remaining.
ultimately, TSM retakes have been clean. The gunplay has been precise, like you said, as well. And we're going to have that Hunter's Fury is still available in Decop's hands, as well as this Cosmic Divide could make for another easy retake or stalling situation for TSM to grab round 7 for themselves as well.
Oh. It's really hard because, I mean, in KCP, they've just been getting annihilated every single round, every time they try to get onto the site. And it's just one of those rounds where you really have to just try to at least just go for it, get that ultimate down. And I mean, the Cosmic Divide is down now that we're going to have that aggression come on, and a lot of players are rounding themselves down hell. This is the time where we have to play for this post plant, play very, very particular and very, very technical in order to at least try to deny this 5-man retake your Ash.
Oh! Thief's just gonna annihilate Pony, taking the operator offline here. 4v5 situation. That Cosmic Divide is gonna come out.
Oh, and right there, Thief is gonna be able to get one, but it's just gonna be a shutdown for Thief there. That Hunter's Fury coming out, trying to at least get something through. But the spike is ticking, and right now there's a lot of site control going over for KCP, and as that, it's just going down. KCP is just not going to be able to, and ZK is trying to place these exit frags here, only being able to get one. Yeah, this operator staying in the hands of ZK. I'm hoping maybe next round they can at least get something.
Very well done by KCP. Just slow down that momentum that was being built by TSM. It's going to be another kind of... Actually, no. I believe all players will be able to buy up. Everything considered. We'll have those buys going out for each other. And now with... Even though... I do want to say, even though TSM had that roll of 6 rounds, they did tend to lose many members every single round, so they don't have as much of that economy cushion as you would normally see. So that is why, you know, that save did have to come out. But a lot of opening picks already, leaving KCP just with 3 members going up C-Long.
Oh, this is going to be a blitz attack coming out from KCP, and right now, ZK's denying it, so is everybody on the side of TSM, and right now, TSM bringing it back, bringing that paving back that they once built. It is coming, and that's just the denial coming out from KCP. That was huge, and Pony's going to be able to utilize that operator just a little bit more. Maybe, hopefully. Never mind, a lot of the players are going over towards A site this time.
Yep, swapping back to what worked out for them in a previous round, but TSM definitely answered, letting KCP know that, nah, you're not stopping our momentum. We've been feeling hot, we've been playing hot. So, gonna get that early turret peek just for info. Is gonna be taken down right away, and a lot of movement towards the A site with that owl drone, but the rotation's being drawn over very early on from TSM.
Ooh, drone is coming through, and it did get a tag, but nothing is coming through for KCP just yet. Oh, and already a pick. That's a good one. That first initial pick is going to be huge, especially since they did take out the duelist over on TSM, and they're going to have to heavily rely on the Sky utility now, but I don't know if they're going to go for an aggression here. Ash, I think they're just waiting at this point for the picks, but TSM is just completely dominating in that factor.
Found them.
I like the Seekers that are coming out, getting that information a bit early
Right
on.
here.
45 seconds on the clock. Just trying to get a better read on what's going on. And Precision's going to take down one and another as well. A 3K could close it out with an ace here.
Ooh, that 3K was actually huge. And now we're going to see 2 shock darts coming out from Critical. It is one player standing. Critical, I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything, and right through the crevice, the tiny little elbow of the wall. It's just going to be Decop taking it down. Last round in the half, and TSM is completely dominating in this half.
Precision, if you're listening back on this in the future, I am sorry for jinxing you in that moment. Allowing you to die there to those shock darts, but very well done on the side of Critical, being able to get Precision out of the way, get that gun out of their hands. But KCP is on this force now for the last round coming up. There is a possibility of that Empress coming online, and Critical is one away from the Hunter's Fury as well. So as long as they can fight for the alt orbs, KCP, it's not quite over for them yet.
They play pretty close here. They might just be able to get one. Jay Stani, it's looking pretty good here. They have to be able to figure out a way that they can kind of deny this operator. And as that gravity well comes down to at least try to dismember Pony, it's not going to come through. Unfortunately enough now, this Hunter's Fury is just going to close this out. I do have to give kudos where it's done, though. That was very good aggression. It's just, unfortunately, the pistol round was there.
The members on TSM right now are kind of just trading round for round as far as, oh, who's going to get a 3K now? Who's going to grab the 4K this time around? And a lot of multi-kills are going out. We are swapping halves. 9-3 favoring TSM Academy. They are looking to put this map under their belt as well. And the crossfires on those sites, the retakes, have just been pristine from them so far. The synergy has been on point, and I do really want to commend whoever is IGLing for them right now is doing a phenomenal job as to call those, and just like the natural synergy in general. TSM is going to posture up for that typical first round Haven C split push through long and garage. That guiding light's going to come out early, but find nothing mid, and actually have 3 stacking on the B site here for a quick rotation to C and garage.
Really, really nice utility usage, but I really like what's coming here for KCP. They know that this aggression is coming through, and they're kind of canceling it down. Already, Thief is doing pretty well here, able to get that overheal up. Oh, and right there, 1 enemy remaining, and KCP might just be able to close this out. Critical is not going to be peeking too heavily here. Trying to at least get some damage through in Precision with 22 health. KCP is going to be able to at least take this round in their pockets and the next one.
Precision's just creeping away, trying to get another angle. Have KCP guess where they're coming from, but with 22 HP in a dream, not sure how much can really happen here. We do have another guiding light available, though, in Precision's hands. It could be, the difference in this round, and the Recon's not going to find anything yet either. Still 30 seconds to work with, though. Precision
30 seconds left.
actually going to try and bait their positioning towards C-Long, but KCP Thief is ready for it. Just able to take down Precision, put this round on the board. 9-4 now. If KCP is able to win this force up as well, they'll be in a much better position to possibly tie up this game to 9-9. Who knows? I mean, we've seen some crazy ecos, we've seen some crazy thrifties, so I'm not going to count anybody out quite yet.
I mean, right now, they have a really good chance, especially since this first pistol round is won, and now that this bonus is coming through, KCP is 100% closer to catching up.
They are. That's exactly what they needed. We talked about that before, right? Having the util available, coordinating with each other quite a bit better, and being able to force up as well. It's going to be an immediate push onto B. That spike is going to be denied, and the nano swarms are going to melt as well.
I saw a reload happen with the
Spike
Spectre
planted.
there, but it seemed like it just did it by itself. I just had to point that out. But I mean, the spike is taking, and right now TSM has a really good chance. But actually, no, KCP has 5 players on their side, and we're gonna have a really nice gravity well coming down here. I don't know how well this is gonna fare out for TSM, especially with the utility. Oh, and right now, Thief is just getting aggressive, coming out here for KCP, and that defusal is going to be coming down. Yeah, KCP just completely dominated. I mean, it is a Spectre round, but KCP's been faring out pretty well on this defense.
To be honest, in a situation like that, B site is probably one of the last sites that you want to plant on in a 5v5. All things considered, B is the easiest site to retake for the defenders. So the fact that there are many more avenues, you know, you have the A link, you have the C link, and then you can push out garage, or if you flanked out from anywhere else, you can try and take some grass control. And especially considering the fact that TSM, they did get the plant down, but because it was rushed, because it was still a 5v5 situation, they couldn't set themselves up for a post plant for those crossfires on site itself, and forcing everybody to fall back to main and through mid puts themselves in a sticky situation, all things considered. And this operator, JMO's hands, not quite gonna see anything yet, but TSM's kind of playing back, hoping that KCP might aggress them and get a little bit over aggressive, maybe get an early pick.
Oh, Precision did get some information there. They know that the operator is A on the side of KCP. They're not going to go for that, which is actually a really smart decision here. Now they're going to go over towards C site, but we have a really nice angle being held here by Thief, and taking that one pick down, it is going to be huge. Losing that Sentinel to at least watch the Lurker. If anything, use that utility for that post-plant positioning. Thief is just completely dominating, though, and right now might just be able to get another down, another if possible, and one more! An ace to Thief's name! Completely dominating in this defense round, and wow! I don't know what to say.
That was round 3 going towards KCP. You know, once they've swapped halves, the fact that KCP was able to buy up to those rifles, and they're here for the comeback. They're not willing to let it go, and Thief was just on point. They're just stealing rounds from TSM right from under their nose and trying to tie this up closer and closer. They're saying, you know, 9's all you get at this point. We'd like to take this game home. But I digress. The Owl Drone is going to come out clearing some information. Didn't check the smoke, though, and not that anyone is playing in it.
Oh, that's a really, really nice. I have to give it to KJ. That was an extremely good molly coming down, but Payne is going to be eliminated. KCP has been doing extraordinary at holding the sites, and I mean, C-Site being that iteration that keeps coming for TSM. But TSM is going to be taking this back in this save round. That was a thrifty.
It was a thrifty, and they managed to snag that operator as well. A really good flank through C garage window. Not through C garage. Yeah, through garage window. Caught KCP off guard for sure. TSM was like, okay, you know, you got that ace, but don't feel too good about yourselves because we're gonna reverse roll you in this round with the worst guns. But TSM now taking this timeout, considering their options as far as having rifles now. How do they want to go about this attack? Kind of hoping to maybe see a bit more default going on. I think the C split does go very well for them, but depending on how KCP decides to set up for that round, we've also seen them prepared for that, kind of playing back, allowing the utility to almost force TSM into one particular area so that some sandwich action can be going on so KCP can get a better read. It looks like it's going to be maybe more of a default. Well, I can't really say. We are in the pause, so people actually can't move right now. I don't know what I'm exactly trying to read to you guys at home at the moment. But I'm going to try to stop lying.
It happens. It happens.
It does happen.
But, I mean, KCP really is bringing it back. It went from 9 to 3 half, coming up with a 3-in-a-row round save. JMO as well. I mean, JMO does have this up, so might just be able to get a couple here. especially since we do have Precision getting a little bit aggressive up A, although getting some information now without util. I am seeing this might possibly be a mid take here, Ash.
Might be a mid-take. Precision trying to draw those rotations over towards
Right
A
here.
with the Trailblazer. Fake it a little bit. But we did is set up for this B-take once again. All of that Killjoy utility actually just got annihilated by the Shock Dart.
Spike planted.
Ooh, and that spike is going down, but what we did was watching along the corners. I mean, TSM definitely does not think anybody's going to be peeking through that cosmic divide there. Oh, and it's looking pretty rough already. A lot of aggression coming out from KCP as they try to get this defusal down. We do have one flank coming along, though.
Enemy kill.
KCP might just be able to have this in their pockets as it seems, but
Enemy remaining.
Pony and Precision playing together pretty well here. We did is still gonna get shot through the wall. A great jiggle peek by Precision there. And the attackers winning this round, but KCP still having a lot of hope left in their hearts. And Thief, the clutch god, might just be able to clutch this up once again with that ultimate coming through.
Oh, that was a stunning pop flash coming out from Precision, and the flank was on point as well. Just there in the nick of time, I was definitely worried that Precision wouldn't get there for the correct timing, that the defuse might happen, but clutch gene. Precision has definitely got it. TSM one away from match point now, and likely will be getting match point, considering that KCP is forced on this save. But like you said, we've seen some crazy thrifties. Not going to count anybody out yet. Critical is getting really aggressive here in A lobby.
We're waiting, watching to see if something's gonna happen, but Z-Comp might just be able to close this 1v1 out. Some information being given. It's some aggression coming out from KCP, but in order to get those early eco frags down, not really much going through though, Ash.
Not too much going through. Kind of resetting, playing slowly. I mean, the heal from the sky, the overgrowth, is huge to be able to put that little bit of health back on TSM's backs. KCP definitely at a disadvantage here, but it's going to be this aggressive take onto C-Site. Pony's going to grab one for themselves and a wall bang as well. Those both lockdowns are going to be forced out. Pony just annihilating through these smokes.
This is a very nice graph we have here. What is that
A
called?
nice
What is
Venn diagram.
a Venn diagram? We have a cute little Venn diagram coming along. I am terrible with vocabulary. You guys can probably tell in the chat, but Precision is trying to get some information out, and KCP honestly, it's looking rough as Pony gets that 4K down, but Critical, it's a very good decision to save here as it is the next round. It has to be the round that they need to start bringing this back up.
It is. Match points gotta hurt too. I mean, KCP managed to take the last map home for themselves, their personal pick. But TSM's taking this lead. It's feeling a little bit more like that bind game. TSM with these really great entries onto site, able to melt people, have those trades happen as well, but Cosmic Divide is available in JC Stanny's hands.
Right there.
It could be great for both a retake or just to stall if an aggressive blitz is trying to happen. Ultimately,
I mean,
it's gonna be tough.
I'm sorry, looking at this player was actually insane, but I think Thief might just be able to clutch up, especially with this
the
ultimate.
Empress.
But it has to be used at such a nice given time, or at the beginning of the round where, you know, it's a given that Thief might just be able to at least get some of those frags out. But right now it does seem like TSM is trying to gather some information before they decide on a site to be pushing. And it does seem like two players are wavering around trying to get that lurk down in a site.
Yep, it's gonna be that fake towards C, pulling 4 from KCP over to the C and Garage. Meanwhile, 3 players from TSM have actually moved up towards A lobby jam. They're getting that early info, is able to call that rotation back for their team. But Pain's got a great lurk, taking down JC Stanny.
Oh, and it's already going through. Already a 3v3 right here as it is, and Pony watching around the corner. The plant is going to be going down, and we do have this retake coming through, but Decop is by themselves, and Thief is going to have to be probably one of the leading factors here, especially being that Reina fragger, but Critical might just be able to clutch it up with that information given. Pony, though, has a really, really nice flank coming along here. Might just be able to take out Critical. And And there is one. Pony is going to be peeking long here, but Weeded is going to eliminate that as soon as possible. And right now, KCP taking this down. They're not going to allow TSM to take another round in their pockets. KCP is definitely thinking right now, 12 is all they get.
12 is all they get, but it is, 5 rounds. 5 rounds is what KCP needs to be able to tie this game up, take it to overtime. JC Stanny still has that Cosmic Divide available that we were talking about before. Critical managed to save the Hunter's Fury as well. It's almost like they felt it in their bones. Like, okay, don't use it this round. We have a couple more to go. We're not going to be out quite yet. But the Seekers are online for precision. This could be really great as far as this, or would be really great as far as being able to either entry onto a site if they're having difficulty, or if in the post-plant situation they just need a bit more information or a bit more time to stall that retake. But
Right here.
the Blade Storm has also been popped by one of the Jets in this game too. You see on the attacking side, a bit of a save by coming out from TSM, and the Owl Drone's just going to gather a little bit of information, clear things out.
Oh, that Owl Drone's coming out. It's going to be really good information. And as that aggression comes through, it seems like Weeded is just going to cancel that out. Watching the site pretty nicely here. KCP might just be able to pull this through. Although this smoke is obscuring the vision. Oh, and Payan's watching that lurk around. Critical's trying to get onto the site. And that rotation is going to be coming through for TSM, allowing them to take A site pretty freely here.
I like that ZK was already positioned a lot closer to A. The rotation didn't have to go as far, but Weeded is actually going to catch Payan off guard here. Plant will go down. However, no stars are actually available for ZK at the moment, so they won't be able to play the Astra post plant with the Gravity Well and the Nova Pulse.
Spike is taking. KCP really needs to make a move, and I mean the lockdown's coming through. It is a 1v4 right now, and ZK is in a terrible position for the jump peek to be given. And Thief, Thief is amazing. Thief has been fragging out and doing their job. I honestly think, Thief has been doing an amazing job thus far.
Thief has been turning up the heat. 25 and 13, exactly what you mentioned. I mean, 0 assists as well. Usually what you see with a Reyna. Not that Reynas can't get assists, obviously, but you did make a point beforehand that Reyna's kit is much more geared towards the individual, and if you're not either fragging out or making that space for your team, if you're not fragging out, then you're really not taking her to full advantage. We are going to have both Cosmic Divides available on both sides here, and she's vertical and lower angle. Oh my god.
KCP, Ash, they're just not letting this go. They do not want to give up these rounds, and I'm loving the tension. Right now, it's giving TSM some heat, and TSM is having a really hard time closing this out.
Both teams are dying to make it to Grand Finals to play against Radiance. I mean, another eco coming out from TSM. The Sheriff's Precision just couldn't try and clear Garage here without using information, trying to creep up. But Thief is ready for this cross.
Oh, waiting. Right there, Thief. This is Thief's angle right here. It seems like Thief, though, is only going to be able to get one, and JC Stanny's gonna close this off. KCP with the eliminations coming in the early rounds and the early stages. Right now is the time where KCP is completely feeling themselves. And JMO with the op, we're gonna have to see that come out because Pony is trying to bring in the heat as well.
I think if TSM wants to close the round out here instead of, if KCP grabs round 10, they're likely grabbing round 11 as well, just bringing them even closer to the tie, considering that TSM will be forced on that save once again. So I'd like to see Payan go for that ult orb, try to get that Killjoy lockdown as early as they can, just to make sure that they could use it in this upcoming round to secure it for TSM, make that entry onto site, or even hold back the retake if they're able to get the site pretty cleanly, but not quite fighting for that ult orb control like I would have seen, like I would have liked to see.
Just a lot of wavering around A site, and TSM trying to kind of figure out what exactly they need to be doing. They've been switching it up a lot, and I do like how they've been trying to get more on the technical side and figure out what are we doing wrong here. But as this drone comes through, it's going to give some attention. Precision, though, is going to get that flash out, but that information is given. Now we're going to have a cosmic divide for an aggression coming through for TSM. KCP, though, they're not going to give up the site this easy. They just have to be extremely careful for Pony, as Pony dominates on the operator.
Cosmic divides are coming out, both of them this time around, and we're going to be met with this 4v5 situation. KCP has the read. TSM is going towards C, and the trade's going out in Garage, and the lockdown's going to come out as well.
Oh, as that lockdown comes down, this becomes huge. Right now, Thief has to be able to frag out here before anything can happen, and Weeded is being left by themselves, but there is 13 seconds to get that spike down. Weeded might just be able to take this to overtime, but we have to be careful here, Ash. It is a very dangerous territory that Weeded is stepping into, and right now is the time. You have to be extremely careful as these angles are being held, but right now, as it is Weeded trying to clutch up the round across, the contact is going to be held, and it's just going to go towards TSM Academy for the win.